Check your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Today's the day. Starfield is launching as we speak right now. Whole bunch of popular Twitch streamers are on their created character screens, but most importantly, the embargo for reviews has lifted, and all the gaming journalist websites that you could think of are posting their Starfield reviews. This was my most anticipated game of the year, alongside with tons of other gamers. People want to know, is Bethesda going to come through with a banger? Will the Xbox finally have a killer app that's exclusive to the Series X? And most importantly, does it suck? Well, taking a look at the reviews that are out there, it's quite a variety. More variety than a bag of trail mix, to be completely honest. You got some outlets that are over here giving it perfect scores, and some, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, type of reviews. So we're going to talk about my thoughts on this, because again, this was a game that I was looking forward to checking out and sinking the teeth into. I pre-ordered the premium edition upgrade. I'm just right now at this point, I'm counting the hours down to when I can sink my teeth into the game and basically rock out with my cock out as far as Starfield's concerned. Enough of the rambling though, let's talk about some of these review scores that are up as of this video. By the time you're watching this, there might be even more news outlets out there with review scores. The review score could also be up or down depending on the influx of that. The most important thing to take a look at though is what the Metacritic score is. So as of right now, when I'm recording this video, the PC Metacritic score is 88 based on 50 critic reviews, and the console Metacritic score is an 87 based on 51 critic reviews. I was taking a look at a stream earlier, and this guy was insulting Starfield already, saying since it was a below a 90, that means it was a critical failure, and that tons of people are going to cancel their pre-orders because anything under a 90 means it's not good. I don't know about y'all. An 87 and an 88 is pretty good. No cap. And that's not coping either. And you gotta remember, this is all on critic reviews right now. User scores have yet to come in. For some people to try to twist that having an 88 or an 87 or somewhere around that score is a bad thing, is kind of misleading in a way. Now, on Reset Era, there's actually a review thread that has all the reviews that constantly refreshes. These are the review scores. We're going to talk a little bit about them. Right off the bat, unsurprisingly, the one review score that sticks out to me the most is IGN, and a lot of people live and die by the IGN score. I don't ever take IGN seriously when it comes to reviewing of games, but they gave Starfield a 7 out of 10. That might actually look kind of bad. People are like, oh, it's not even an 8 or a 9, it's a 7. It's automatically bad. If you use the grading system, a 7 is a 70 out of 100. That's still a passing grade. But they claim that Starfield has a lot of forces working against it, but eventually the allure of its expansive role-playing quest and respectable combat make its gravitational pull difficult to resist. So that sounds kind of like a neutral, unbiased review. If you want to look into their detail, they do have their article up there. But a 7 out of 10, I think that's probably being about as fair as you can get without sounding like a complete shill on this. I know there was a lot of people worried that this was going to be a complete shill fest for everybody that got early access to it. There's the whole drama where some websites were complaining, like Eurogamer, that they didn't get any review codes. There's always that kind of, I guess, argument where the people that get early access, of course, are going to praise it or not. So in a small way, you do gotta give IGN props for having the balls to give it a 7 out of 10. Now let's take a look at some of the higher scores. VGC gave it a 5 out of 5, saying there are few games as overwhelming as this. Starfield feels like that moment when you first emerged from Vault 101 in Fallout 3, gawping at its scale, expanded across an entire game. The sense of wonder, adventure, and possibility is an intoxicating trick that never wore off during 100+ hours with the game. Wow. Comparing it to Fallout, that's actually really big there. That gives me high hopes. Again, I try to temper my expectations when it comes to these types of games. I don't want to draw the comparison to No Man's Sky, but when that came out, I was fucking game for it. And then quickly I was like, okay, this sucks. I'm really hoping Starfield doesn't do that for me. Game Informer, which is GameStop's magazine, gave it an 8.5 out of 10, which is still pretty high and respectable, actually. That's a really good score in my opinion. They said, it took me a long time to fall in love with Starfield, and even after I did, certain aspects didn't work for me. but the things I didn't enjoy are vastly outweighed by my enthusiasm for this new, original science fiction universe, the breadth of its adventures, and the appeal of its many interwoven stories. Go in with the expectation that it'll take some time to find your footing in such a vast gameplay space, and there's a universe well worth discovering here. Alright, so the phrase, it'll take some time to get your footing, is actually quite interesting. That really adds to the emphasis that this game is all about exploration and has a vast amount of content in here. Of course, I'm not expecting to be super far into the game within, like, I guess 8 hours. There's obviously going to be a lot of content on this game itself. The anticipation, honestly, is really fucking killing me when it comes to this. Destructoid gave it a perfect score. They said, I wasn't sure it could be done, but Bethesda has managed to raise the bar for sandbox games even higher. In the end, Starfield is an epic sandbox open world RPG with a beautifully immersed universe, a captivating story, and fun and compelling gameplay the whole way. I'm so happy to have experienced Starfield organically, and I really hope you get to as well. VGC and Destructoid, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, perfect scores. Now let's go ahead and take a look at one from PC Gamer, which they ranked it as 75 out of 100. Again, 75 is still pretty good when you look at, like, I guess, grading on a, I guess, book report in high school or whatever. A school assignment. A 75 is still a passing grade. Is it an A? Does that mean it's fucking fantastic? No, but there's always room for improvement. Let's look at this score right here. After all the hype and hope and anticipation, I'm disappointed to say I don't love Starfield the way I love other Bethesda RPGs. It's similar in a lot of ways, but Starfield never feels as instantly engrossing and transporting as Oblivion or Skyrim, or as wild and weird as the Fallout games. It comes close on occasion. One settlement on a far-flung planet is right up there with the most entertaining vault tech experiments of all time, but more often the promising premises I found in remote bases or mysterious space stations tended to fizzle out. Starfield's alien bugs, even the truly monstrous ones, don't hold a candle to Skyrim's menagerie of beasts. Faction quests never match the intrigue and brilliance of Oblivion's guild quests, and though Starfield spacers and Fallout raiders probably share the same basic code, they don't have as much personality. So I don't love Starfield, but I'm happy to say that I do like it. Those first 90 hours I played were far from perfect, but I got plenty of reasons to play 90 more. Again, another middle of the pack review, sounds pretty neutral. So far, we don't have anybody really tearing into the game, which, in my personal opinion, that's a good sign. Nobody's really said anything in wave glitches. Do you remember when Cyberpunk came out? How that game got roasted and toasted and burned to a crisp? Yeah, right now we don't see any problems as far as performance, glitches, anything like that. People are just calling it, I guess, dull and takes a while to get used to your footing in the game. GameSpot also gave it a 7 out of 10, and the rest, they're pretty much 8, 9s, perfect scores. So right now it looks like it's favorable, at least with the critics. So I'm feeling good about this. The one thing that I'm actually especially feeling good about is the fact that nobody is bitching about performance issues or quality issues when it comes to frame rates, glitches, or anything like that. So I think that's a good fucking sign, especially for a Bethesda game. Personally, I'm looking forward to playing this. I'm going to be streaming this. I'm going to be hanging out, chilling out with it, so make sure you guys tune in later today for it. I'm excited. What do you guys think about these early review scores as they're coming in? Do you think an 87 and an 89 for the Metacritic is a bad score? I don't think so. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you on the next one, guys.